It's always like that.
Like what?
Whenever I get to liking someone, they ain't around long.
I notice when you get to disliking someone, they ain't around for long either.
I'm fascinated by a lot of actors who have become directors. Eastwood could do both. I think all his years as an actor really helped create that confidence.
Just because we're going on this killing, that don't mean I'm going to go back to being the way I was.
I think actors make good directors. I mean, you know, Robert Redford and Costner did it too, before I did. I think it's a natural progression.
What are you gonna do, Walt?
I'll think of something. Whatever it is, they won't have a chance.
I don't think there's any directors now that have directed that many movies, and certainly not that they've been in. You don't learn nothing from having that kind of a body of work.
I made a lot of mistakes in my life. I'm just trying to keep you from doing the same.
I know, boss.
It's amazing that he's there, you know, 12 hours a day on camera. If he's not on camera, he's directing, and he doesn't miss a beat.
I thought it was more important to be somebody out there than the damn failure I was here at my own home. I'm sorry for everything.
I really don't understand how people direct and act at the same time. And then to produce, direct, and act is a pretty daunting task.
Ever notice how you come across somebody once in a while that you shouldn't have with? That's me.
In his 50 years as a filmmaker, Clint Eastwood has truly become cinema's triple threat, having served as producer, director, and actor in more films than anyone in recent cinema history.
Doing both jobs is not a thing I recommend anybody doing. With me, I did it as a necessity, because when I play Misty, for me, if I was in it, I could get the film made. But I always swore after a couple of years, I'd gravitate out of acting. And here I am, still doing it as a derelict.
Actually, starring in the film that you're directing has a lot of challenges. And I was in my 30s when I did it. After I did Braveheart, for example, I never did it again. So for him to do that, when he's not a kid anymore, it's pretty amazing.
You know, there's not a lot of guys like Clint Eastwood around. He's quite seamless in terms of moving back and forth between decisions that he has to make as a director and decisions that he has to make as an actor.
The danger of an actor directing is that they can't be objective about themselves, maybe, but we didn't have that.
I'm not out of date, am I? I've been picking flowers for a woman, just out of appreciation.
No, not at all, except those are poisonous.
The problem of objectivity was a challenge Eastwood was warned about early on by his mentor, Don Siegel.
His advice was, don't short yourself. The trouble with being an actor and a director in a picture is that sometimes you feel complexed about doing too much coverage on yourself, and so you're busy working with the other actors. Take your time with it and do it correctly.
Working the bag, boss.
Not your boss. That bag's working you.
His ability to see and watch while he's acting with me is nothing short of astonishing.
I told you I don't train girls.
Thought you might change your mind.
There's dozens of trainers who train girls. You won't have any trouble finding one.
Don't hardly need a dozen, boss. You'll do fine.
As an actor, Eastwood's understated style, free of theatricality, has brought depth and power to a wide range of performances.
Clint can show this emotion underneath without uttering a word. He is a great quiet actor. That's what a true leading man can do. There are very few of them.
The hardest thing to do as an actor is to stay still. He knows he doesn't have to move too much. He's got it in there. He's got it in his face and in his eyes.
Eastwood's talent for expressing emotion with few words was movingly illustrated in his role as boxing trainer Frankie Dunn.
Somebody tell me what's going on.
Look, I was late. Sally was just subbing for me.
You're telling me this is your fighter?
Yeah, this is my fighter. It came right after I'd done Mystic River, and I was just about in that time in life where I was saying, you know, I think I'll just stay behind the camera. This acting thing, you know,
At some point, you're gonna have to look in the mirror and say, that's enough of that. But the character seemed like I was pretty much the right casting for it.
What Clint can bring that no one else can is the Frankie Dunn character. He's a hardened, insulated human being. And what happens? She breaks through his armor. She cracks him wide open.
Okay. If I'm gonna take you on...
You won't never regret it.
Look, just listen to me. If I take you on...
I promise I'll work so hard.
God, this is a mistake already.
Mm-mm. I'm listening, boss.
It was interesting having your co-star also be your director. It's nerve-wracking just because he's Clint. He's an anomaly. He's a legend. And then you just get into your groove, and I started seeing him as his character, and yet then he was also directing me, and you don't even know you're being directed.
Got any family, boss?
Well, I've got a daughter, Katie.
That's family.
We're not exactly close.
It was just one of Clint's best works, both as a filmmaker and as an actor.
I would have given up my Oscar, I swear to God, for him to get the Oscar for Best Performance of the Year.
Makushla means my darling, my blood.
Eastwood's stature as a performer gives him a credibility with his actors that few other directors enjoy.
I don't usually trust directors. I usually hold them outside the magic circle. But he was already in it because he was the other actor. So as a director, I think I was much more open to whatever he suggested.
With a filmography heavy on westerns, police dramas, and war films, Eastwood surprised many by producing, directing, and starring in the romantic drama, The Bridges of Madison County.
I guess it's something that he wanted to do at this point in his life. He was involved in a love story at the time and got married right afterwards. Maybe this was his romantic period or something.
What's wrong?
You look stunning, if you don't mind me saying so. Make him run around the block howling in agony, stunning.
I think he's amazing in Bridges of Madison County. It's a beautiful film. Just the exchanges between the two of them, between him and Meryl Streep, watching the real romance blossom and watching two people really get to know each other and then starting to love these two people ourselves and then hoping for them that they'll stay together.
I'm not going to apologize for who I am.
Nobody's asking.
And I'm not going to be made to feel like I've done something wrong
No, you're
here.
not going to be made to feel anything, period.
The fight scene in the kitchen was the moment where the limitations of this dream present themselves. It's the morning after. It's when you realize it's over.
And the rest of us are supposed to feel incredibly grateful for this brief moment that you touched us. Go to hell!
It's a great scene, and it's the one where, as an actor, Clint wasn't afraid to go all the way.
I'll only say this once. I've never said it before. But this kind of certainty comes but just once in a lifetime.
And then I was so amazed because after I saw the film cut together, he took out sort of the more shaken parts of his performance, which, you know, in the envelope, please, it's like he would have. Every actor kills for this scene, and he kind of pulled back on it. But I think he has a real good idea of how much is needed to tell the story.
Even while giving an emotional performance, Eastwood proved yet again his ability to operate as both star and director with apparent ease.
He was able to be in the scene and commit to the scene as an actor, and then somehow, at the end of the scene, sit back and decide whether that was enough or not. I don't know how you do that. I could never do that.
Whether playing a lovelorn photographer, a grizzled boxing trainer, or a washed-up gunfighter, Clint Eastwood has subverted expectations throughout his career, never more so than in his performance as Earl Stone, a 90-year-old drug mule for the Sinaloa cartel.
It's been cool to see Clint transform into Earl, just because it's not a Dirty Harry-like character. It's this, you know, cute little older gentleman with his daylilies and his little bow ties and his hats and this charming guy.
He's a little different between the men and the women. And so if the women are in the room, he's Fred Astaire.
Oh, ladies, you're on the wrong floor. Third floor is the beauty pageant.
When the guys are in the room, he's kind of a little more gruff, which I think is really real.
I thought you were dead. No such luck, I guess.
What moved me about this script was envisioning Clint playing that role, and how, to me, it just seems like the perfect role for the perfect actor at this time of his life.
I think it's really great that he's playing a role that's very age-appropriate.
I thought that would be fun. I mean, to play my age, say. I went to a charity, and I got this caramelized corn. And it's really terrific stuff. Guys,
you can't accept this kind of stuff.
Oh, you'd be doing me a great favor if you would. I've got diabetes, I can't have it. They'd love it down at the station. And the gals upstairs, they'll love it too.
The Mule also reunited Eastwood with one of his favorite collaborators, Bradley Cooper.
Because of American Sniper and their bromance, it's fun to see the chemistry that they have, and they have so much respect for each other. They can bounce around ideas, and it feels natural because they are friends.
And one of the best scenes in the movie is in the Waffle House when they both have to reveal how they screwed up.
Jesus, I'm an idiot.
A missed birthday?
Anniversary.
Family is the most important thing. I learned that the hard way. My daughter won't even speak to me. I haven't talked to them in 12 and a half years. Like they were never there or something.
Thank you for the advice. It's good to talk to one of you guys once in a while.
You guys?
There were 2 times on the set where I just couldn't stop crying watching him work, even when I was in a scene with him where my character certainly should not be crying. So I had to, like, walk away. Just watching him entrenched in his role and bringing all of his life experience to the character of Earl, it's pretty moving.
You know, as you become sort of a senior person in the acting profession, you get to a certain stage and then you have to look for material that taxes you a little bit. And this one did for me, as did Gran Torino, which was interesting because it was also a guy who was older, but he was much more of a bigot. He was a bigot against his own family.
Wish I could help, Dad. I'll call you in a few and see how you're doing.
Killed you to buy American.
Well, it's very tough to have as your dad. You know, when you want to get tender and close to him. He's kind of tough and stoic and doesn't open up much.
I knew a lot of vets. It seemed a lot of those guys would come back pissed off and kind of mad at the world.
Look at the way the old man glared at Ashley. Jeez. Can't even tone it down for Mom's funeral.
He was on the outs with all of his relatives, and he hated his neighbors, and he hated any minorities.
What the hell is this?
Get up.
Get off my lawn. Did you hear me? I said get off my lawn now. Be camera marker.
These gang members, you know, try to recruit him in their gang.
So what do I have to do?
His initiation was to steal Walt, his neighbor's Gran Torino.
At the beginning of the movie, Walt is not like us at all. He's like, why are you here? Why are you in my neighborhood? You know, you need to get out. But we try to become friends with him, and eventually we build a connection.
Thanks for the ride.
You know something, kid, you're all right. But what about that dimwit brother of yours? He a little slow or something? And the drama begins when Walt Kowalski gets submerged in the problems of these other people. He gets very attached to the people he disliked at the beginning, so it gave the character a lot of places to go.
Walt begins to work with Tao and mans him up and teaches him how to live properly. And that's when, you know, they start building their relationship.
Grabbed me a couple of days ago, right after I got off work.
Cowards. Where's your cousin live?
No, Walt. I'll be okay. I don't want you to do anything.
Right.
With Clint, there's so few takes that you don't really have the time to sit there and go, was that good? Was that right in the moment? You just have to kind of trust that, well, since this man has been doing this for longer than I've been alive, if he thinks it's good, then I have to think it's good.
Are you going to retaliate for what happened? Go in peace.
Oh, I am at peace.
As a producer, director, and actor, Clint Eastwood has made a habit of surprising audiences, both with his choice of subject matter and the variety of his performances.
Yeah, he's got to do something for a living these days. Dying ain't much of a living, boy.
When people think of him, they think of, the guy that's like, go ahead, make my day. Yet Clint has one of the biggest hearts of anyone I know.
You gonna leave me again?
Never.
I think he has very highly evolved both sides of his character. He has a female sensibility in many ways, a compassionate sensibility, compassionate heart.
It's a hell of a thing, killing a man.
Well, I guess they had it coming.
We all have it coming, kid.